All right, welcome to Witchpolice Radio. This is kind of a weird thing I'm trying where I'm talking to people about singles rather than about their whole career as musicians or about new albums or about what you're used to hearing on the podcast. So, on this episode, which is a short episode, I have Orvis Thomas, who has been on the show before, but I'm glad that I can actually hear what you're saying on this version of the of an interview, because when you were on with the Bloodshots, we had some audio problems, but you're a guy that I know of based on your work in other bands. And so what we're talking about today is some solo stuff. So maybe if you want to just give some background about what you've been doing as a solo artist, and we can take it from there.
I started recording solo singles in 2012. So I was doing like one a year. Last summer, I started, it's kind of like a progressive pop song at Studio 23 in St. Anne. That's run by Jody Hunter. Just kind of on a whim, we recorded one of my old songs, just acoustic guitar and voice. And that's one of the songs that we're releasing on March 21st. The song we were working on isn't ready yet, but it'll hopefully be out by this summer.
Cool. So I guess how does this solo stuff differ from what people maybe are more used to hearing you do with your bands? I mean, are these songs that you maybe didn't want to bring to those other projects because sonically they're different, or were they turned down by the other projects? Or what kind of differentiates a solo song from the work you do in maybe more recognizable stuff that people know you from?
It's mostly like jazz, country, and blues, what I do with like my solo material.
Okay.
And it's definitely a lot of pop material too. Because like mostly you play in like rock bands and stuff. You do like metal, punk, grunge, and stuff like that. But with the solo stuff, it's basically like myself in control of the music. I don't have to listen to like a lead singer or something and kind of bow to their wishes or whatever.
Yeah.
Whereas like with the solo material, I'm in full control of everything.
Do you have a preference? I mean, between playing that kind of heavier, louder stuff and then doing what you're doing as a solo artist?
It's really just about the connection to the material. Because like, how do I say it? Like, I don't really want to play anything that I don't feel a connection to. So like the heavier music, Metallica and stuff like that, and Megadeth, all the heavy stuff. You play it because you feel a connection to it, and it's the same with like jazz and country.
Sure.
I hope that makes sense.
No, it does. It does. Do you? I guess what kind of background do you have musically then that maybe leads you to have interest in something like jazz and country? Like, is that something that you've been playing for a long time, kind of aside from the rock stuff?
My mom would listen to a lot of country music on road trips.
Okay.
So like it's been a part of my life since I was like very young. Like I like Prairie Oyster, Dwight Yoakam. You get into like jazz country and jazz blues and stuff like that.
Cool.
And it's just my roots, really.
Yeah. So is this a lead up to a full length album you're going to be putting out under your own name at some point?
We're hoping to. We were talking about a full acoustic album of 12 songs. I did release all of my past material as an EP, which is going to benefit homeless people in Winnipeg.
Oh, cool. Okay.
We've so far raised $50, and that ain't bad.
No, anything helps, right? The $50 can go a long way for sure. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's coffee for some people.
Totally, yeah. So, this single that's coming out, what is the name of the single, first of all?
So this song is called "Only Your Love." I recorded a full band version in 2015. And that was produced by Dale Penner. Okay. It's a jazz country song. This one, it's just acoustic voice and then the guitar solo. It's as bare bones as you can get. It's got a real what's the word? Old sound. Just, it's like the phrasing and everything. It's all one take. Like cool. The guitar was one take, the vocal, the guitar solo as well. So it's basically like warts and all. Yeah, no, but I think the country lends itself to that kind of style too, right? I mean, that kind of genuineness is what people, I think, often want when they're hearing that sort of music too, is something honest and something sincere. And often the warts that come from like a one take recording, those almost add to the sincerity of it, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was kind of apprehensive about it because like listening back to it, you can hear where you're like making the mistakes and everything, but it kind of adds to it, I think.
Sure. And then
And
where can
plus,
people? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
sorry. And plus, in the concept of the mix, it kind of like everything kind of meshes together.
Where can
But
people
there
find
are
this when it comes out?
things-
When it's
Sorry?
released? When it's released, where do people find this single?
It'll pretty much be on everything. It'll be on everything except Spotify.
Okay.
I'm not a particular fan of Spotify, so I choose not to use that platform. But it is available on like Bandcamp and iTunes and Amazon and wherever else you can find it.
Okay. Is the Spotify thing just because of the way they sort of pay artists or don't pay artists, depending on how you want to look at it?
Yeah, it's a biased opinion based on what I've read.
Sure.
And like, if it's thousands of a cent, then like, what's the point?
Right. Unless you're selling millions of copies, in which case, even then, it's like a shitty amount of money for the work that went into it. Yeah. So, what would you prefer? Would you prefer Bandcamp or someone buying it that way because you get more of the proceeds from it?
Yeah, I do prefer Bandcamp over everything else because like it is direct and you get more of a lion's share of whatever is spent on your music.
Yeah.
And in the case of like the charity stuff that I put out, more of that can go to helping people.
Absolutely.
And plus, your local bands need support. And like I've been getting into that, like giving people shout outs and stuff and directing them toward their page and all that.
Cool. And then where can people find the old stuff? Like that EP that was raising money, where is that available?
Oh, you can find it on Bandcamp and iTunes and pretty much everywhere except Spotify.
Except Spotify, right on. Okay, well, yeah, I'm glad you have this record coming out. It's nice to see that people who are I often associate with a certain band, or in your case, multiple bands, have their own thing on the side, because it's always interesting to hear how someone's more personal work, I guess, how he comes across when you. I mean, I'm used to hearing you as a guitar player with other people, right? So, I mean, in this case, this is more your own expression. So it's cool to see it's happening, and hopefully, once that single comes out, you get a lot of listeners.
Oh yeah. I've had a like a preview the other day and I got a lot of really positive feedback.
Right on.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thanks a lot for doing this, man. Good luck with the single, and hopefully hear the record from you coming out soon.
All right, cool. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.